You cut it off at the best part. We heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Melissa just recently did a video where she was doing her own nails, and we had the nerve not to show you her working on her dominant hand with her non-dominant hand. We just discussed, like, how do we say that? So we're sorry. We apologize. Please forgive us. We're going to make it up to you right now. Melissa's going to do it.
So today I'm going to work with my non-dominant hand. I'm actually going to do nails with my left hand, and I'm actually right-handed, and show you how I do it from start to finish. So let's get started. So as you can see, I did do my easy hand already, just to kind of give you an idea what I'm going to do on this side. Now, I very rarely break nails, but I'm opening my own salon. I've been moving, so I've really put my nails through some torture. So I'm going to show you how you will rebalance this and change the look. So my colors I'm going to use are Blueberry Minty Mylar. I'm going to use Lemonade and Lime Icy. I'm going to use some Moody's. And right here's my Mylars all custom mixed. I already custom mixed them all in one. And then I'm going to use Diamond Dust and Resolution. I know Resolution was our limited edition, but those of you that have it, great. The ones who don't, maybe it'll come out again. You could buy it. It's just a really pretty color to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is start off with pushing back my cuticles. Very important. This shows you where you have protein growth. As you can see where it turns really white, that's where you would get lifting. Okay, so I'm going to push these back. Now remember, I'm right-handed. I'm using my left hand, so what I'm kind of doing is kind of working together to push it back. Like this hand kind of moves my right hand and my left hand at the same time. Right here, I usually have a lot of protein growth because I use my electric file right here, as you could see. So that's a spot if you write a lot or if you do nails, you'll always have that spot, depending how you hold your electric file. Some people hold it right here, I've noticed, on this finger. So what I'm doing is just showing and exposing where all my protein growth is so I could prep very well. Now this nail, it really hurt when it broke. It actually didn't break, it just cracked right here because I was trying to hold up a box. Of course, I know these nails aren't built for moving, but what I did is I just cut it off so the pressure would stop so it wouldn't hurt anymore. So I'll show you how you fix that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna get my dust extractor and I'm gonna go to 12,000 RPMs on my electric file, and I'm going to use my safety bit. Okay, so what I'm gonna do from here is move my right hand, as you could see. Well, let me turn this on, that'll help, right? I'm a little ahead of myself. So what I'll do is I will move my hand and kind of anchor this. So while I'm anchoring kind of on my body, and I use this finger to kind of control, or somewhere to control my movement. So I'm kind of steady. So I'm just removing my gel color. Okay. So as you can see, I'm moving my right hand, and I'm kind of looking down the barrel of my nail to see if everything's coming off. Okay, let's go around the cuticle area. Just kind of take this down a little bit here. It looked like it was wanting to lift, but let's see. Usually my nails don't lift, but who knows what my nails have been through lately. It was not bad at all. So all I did was just go over it a couple of times and it blended in well. Once I have that color off, I think I'm gonna go to this one. My hardest nails to do on this side are these two, my pinky and my ring finger. I think it's because they don't really have strength in them. So I tend to slow down when I'm on these two. But it's great to watch this done because we all know it's a little challenging, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I'm going to take down most of this product because it was kind of cracked where it broke. So again, I'm anchoring and holding this still, and I'm moving my right hand so I can remove what I need. Now this one here, I'm going to kind of shorten it a little more on the sides. Okay, so now This is definitely the hardest nail to do, so it might take me a sec to get it down all the way. I'm going to remove it all the way because I'm going to change my design. So if I was using my other hand, if I was working on with my right hand on my left, it probably would be off already. So just know, factor in a little more time when you get on your non-dominant hand. Again, I'm tickling it, but I'm using my right hand and moving it around so I don't stay in the same spot so I don't burn myself. And I feel absolutely no heat, and you can see I'm starting to get closer. So as I get closer, see how some of my glitter is gone? I'm going to go to other spots and not keep it in the same spot. Okay, I slow down just a little as I get a little closer. You could see how my nail cracked right here. So I need to take this down. Anytime, even if I was going to wear the same design, I would probably take it all the way off just to make sure I could seal this again correctly. Kind of acts like a brace or a cast, and it will grow out and I'll forget about it. Okay, you can see perfect where it popped right there. Okay, now this one, what I'm going to do, let me turn this off real quick. I'm just going to get my toenail clippers and I'm going to clip it off because I'm going to do another dimension. And it kind of flies off, as you could see. Okay, that's good enough. I'll do the rest with my file. Let's turn this back on. And as you can see, it's a little longer. I'm going to put my hand this direction and I'll kind of go slow so you can see it. The reason why I'm going in this direction, it's easier for me to see where I'm shortening. So I'm looking at it from an angle the grooves will go well. When I do it this way, it'll bounce. See? See how it kind of bounces? Don't do it from that direction. If you come from here and glide it, it's a much more pleasurable experience. And it glides very easy. So shorten it. And you can see I'm moving my right hand to take it down, take the product down. Okay, from here now I'm going to move it all in different directions. Meaning, if you look at the zones I'm using, when it's in zone 3 on my nail, my drill bit's in zone 3 still too. So is 2 here, and so is 3. So what I'm doing is I'm not moving my bit to go there, I'm moving my hand to hit my zones. It makes it much easier. I'm actually doing the same technique, but in an opposite way we teach you on a person. It's actually a great tip. Okay, so it's getting down, going down. Remember, this is a dimensional, so I'm removing it because I'm going to do kind of like a fade instead of a full coverage. So I have to get all this color down. Okay, let me kind of dust it off so you can see where I'm at. Okay, you could see I have still a little more glitter through there. So I wiped it off so I could see where I need to focus a little more on. Still won't stay in the same spot. And you notice I'm not digging in my natural nail. If you watched how I applied these on my last video, I have base and a little bit of concealer pink there. So as soon as my glitter disappears, I have a barrier there, so I'm not digging into my natural nail. Okay, just make sure I have all that glitter off. This corner's super hard to do. There we go. It's just all in angles. Okay, so I have everything removed. Right here, I'm going to get it a little more because it's a little white. That was from when I smashed my hand. Hopefully I have no more broken nails. I very rarely break a nail, honestly. Not even one a year. I very rarely break my nails when applied right. But these are not meant to unpack boxes, lift boxes, open new salons. So it's to be expected. So now I'm going to change to my medium arbor band. And I'm going to use this about 5,000 RPMs. You could use it anywhere between 3 and 5. maybe 6, just depends where you're comfortable. I have a lot of control at 5. So what I'm doing is I'm prepping my entire nail. As you can see, I'm moving my finger. Here what I'm going to do is kind of come up and butt it up to my cuticle area. Well, let's get a little more right here. All I'm doing is blending it in, butt it up to my cuticle. So what it's doing is prepping all my cuticle area and taking off all that dry skin or cuticle off so I get no lifting. See how I move my hand, my right hand, to help me out with that? Okay, let's do this one. Let's go ahead. See the angle I'm doing? I'm butting it up to my cuticle. Let's see if I have a better view here. See how I'm butting it up to my cuticle, doing kind of like baby circles around it. And right here, I'm going to have to bring my finger kind of up. Now what I'm doing here is blending it in a little, butting it up a little more there. And I'm not burning myself or anything, so I'm not like just electric filing deep on my nail. All I'm doing is blending in the end of my gel. Okay, now this one I'll definitely use another bit as well so I could get closer. So here, right here is like a spot I really need to get it good because it kind of dents in from holding my electric file. So what I'm going to do here is butt it up to my cuticle, move my right hand to get in the proper position. As basically what I'm doing when I'm getting in the proper position, my bit is still parallel with my nail. It's not digging in like carving into it. I'm still in the right angles that I need to be in. Let's prep the rest of the nail. Kind of shorten it on the side right there. I don't like any of my nail left when I'm going to put a form on. I like it as short as I could get it. That's just my preference because then I could shape it how I want from there. Okay, let's go around our cuticle here. Moving my right hand as I'm anchoring this and just holding it there for my nail, and my hand to maneuver around it. Okay, let me get a little better right here on the free edge. I could see a little bit of product there I need to take off. Okay, let me come right here. Like if you could see right, let me show you at this angle. I really need to prep better there. Okay, now let's get at this angle. Told you this finger's my hardest finger. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. And my pinky's even harder than this one. I'm not burning myself or anything. I'm barely touching it, letting my bit do the work for me. Okay, I like that. Let's bring it down a little more here. Okay, now for the pinky. Baby circles around my cuticle area. Now this does take a while. I could already on a person have been prepped and applying already. But the beauty about doing your own nails is it's advertisement for yourself. And I 100% believe that if you do your own nails, it makes you a better nail tech. Kind of teaches you little tricks and maneuvers, and also teaches you patience. Sometimes I'm really fast at it. Some days it takes me forever. It just depends on what mood I'm in. So now I'm going to switch to one more bit. So I switched to my diamond square cuticle bit. Love this bit. This little bit I could get in really clean and get all those difficult spots. Again, it's on 5,000 RPMs. And what I'm going to do is come here and get off my dry skin a little. I always get dry on my right hand because it's where I touch swipe a lot. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go around my cuticle area. See how a lot's coming off still? Butt it up, and it's just fine tuning everything so I remove all that skin. Okay, onto this one. And I'm very precise with this. So I kind of really slow my roll with this and you'll see as I do it, how much is really coming out. Okay, let's see. Let's get our skin here. I like to clean up my dry skin as well with this bit. It works so good for it. Just kind of leaves it flawless looking. Okay, let me get a little closer right here. There we go. Now again, take your time doing this. If you slow your roll, go a little slower, you're gonna get it right the first time. You won't cut yourself. Okay. Now this grid is the same as my medium arbor band. The only difference is an arbor band is a little thicker, a little more wide. So it really does a great job prepping, but this goes in and gets the little tight areas. It's so amazing. I love this bit, especially on myself. Just makes really nice cuticle work. Okay. Let me make sure my sides, I'm going to kind of file in my sides a little because I don't like my nail really hanging off, like on the edges. I like it kind of rounded how my nail grows because then I'm able to form it better. So I always kind of file them just really short there. They look pretty good. So I'm going to take Swipe to change my pH balance and wipe off all of that dust. And I'm going to bring it towards me or away from me, whatever way is easier for you. So that's going to extract everything out of your nails. So what I'm going to do now is my protein bond. So I'm going to put this on all 5. Put 1 coat on the whole thing. Go around the cuticles. Okay, then you're going to repeat your process. Kind of do a circular motion. Picked it up with my other hand. I was able to go a little faster with it. So now I'm just making sure I get it everywhere. Right, and all I'm really doing is focusing on my exposed nail back here. So I have 1 coat's enough on the free edge. Let's get our forms. Now, I do have a hyponychium on these. As you can see, my skin really grows out far. So I'm going to get my nippers because I like to use my nippers instead of my scissors personally, but you could use either or, they both work. So what I'm going to do is notch it from the dominant line right here. I am going to cut a little V into it so my skin, my hyponychium, the skin that extends underneath, feels comfortable on my form there. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this one on. So it goes in and fits really tight and comfortable here. Okay, I'm just gonna get it on and kind of get it a little straight. I will put them to the length I'm gonna do them after I get them all on. Let's repeat the process on this one. All 3 of these have extended skin. So just clip a V from the dominant line. Well, oops, there you go. Then I'm going to pre-pinch it. It's super easy when you pre-pinch. It's easier to put it on yourself, I find. Okay, so I'm going to come in right here. All right, let's put on the pinky one. The pinky one, I definitely need to cut a little slit into it, a little V, because this is major. Okay. So I'm using my right hand obviously to cut. I'm not going to try to do it with my left hand. It would take too long. So everything you could pick up and do with your right, I suggest do it. And it will help you to go a little faster while you do it. That feels really comfortable. Now I have let me show you something real quick before I put it on. I have a crooked pinky. See how it kind of takes a mean curve? Don't know how that happened. I think I was born with it. But what I'm going to do is put my form on a little to the right so it makes it look straight. So I'm going to kind of tweak it a little to the right. Okay, that worked. And now I think I'm going to go about 4 out. About 4 lines out. Remember, I don't always depend on the lines. As long as your nail beds are equal length, it's fine. If one's shorter, you're obviously going to have to go further out for it to be the same length. So sometimes you could depend on them, sometimes you can't. So you always want to have a visual of it and make sure they look similar. Okay, they're all straight, so let's get started with my application. So I am going to use Clear Sculptor and base. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick up my product with my right hand, then I'm going to put it in my left hand. Okay, so I'm going to get my product in front of the brush. I'm going to move my right hand, kind of anchor it to the side. See how I'm moving? And all I'm doing with this, with my left hand, is taking my brush and making sure my product is in front of my brush so I could get my product where it needs to go. Okay, once I connect it, I'm going to slowly bring it down here. Slowly. Let's take a little bit of this off. Again, remember, this is my hard hand, so just taking my time is the key. Making yourself go faster when you're doing your non-dominant hand. Using your non-dominant hand on your dominant hand. That makes sense. It's better to go slow because it's more precise. Okay. So I'm going to do my pinky a dimension as well. Or should I do... I think I'm going to do this one a dimension, not my pinky. Because my pinky was cracked, I want it to be all gel. I don't want anything in the middle of it for strength. So again, just getting it in that corner and bringing it, feathering it down. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it out just a little. Okay, let's compare it to this one. I always compare the length to see if they're going to be the same. Okay, it's a tad bit longer. I'm going to round it right there. Round it right here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe my brush on each side, and I am going to make sure it meets even with my sidewall. Again, this is challenging. Some days I'm super fast at it, and other days I'm a little slow. Today I'm a little slower, but that's all right. They'll always come out the same though. Just may take me a few minutes to get there, more than when on days I'm really fast. Okay, so what I'm going to do now with this is move my Clear Sculptor over and open my Concealer Pink. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is use my Concealer Pink, and as you can see right here, I'm going to pick it up with my right hand, put it in my left, and I am going to do my free edge. Remember, the nails I build in nude, I use the color I'm building with on my free edge. I just like the way the nude nail comes out. Could you use Clear Sculptor? Yes, you could. It's just a preference thing. They both are accurate. Okay, take my time coming down. Okay, let's see. Let me bring it out a little bit more. Okay, let's see if it matches this pinky in length. And it does, so I'm going to wipe off my brush. Make sure my sides are, oh, I need to bring it down a little bit here. See right here how it's up a little? I need to bring my product down just a little. That makes a difference, trust me. Then what I'm going to do is make it all even here. Bring it in. Let's do this side. Bring it in. Let's bring it down a little bit more here again. Okay, so now I'm going to put this under the light for 30 seconds. So now what I'm going to do is go into my base, picking it up with my right hand. I'm going to base right in the middle of this, go all the way back to my cuticle area, and then bringing it through to connect it. So my main thing is I'm just going to get it covered, and then I'm going to look at the sides of them and make sure they're connected accurately. So I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get this on. You always have to base it for your foundation. So putting base on the back end of my nail, and then I'm bringing it through to connect to the rest of the nail. Again, as you can see, it's not quite as clean. It's coming out, but it takes me a while to get there. Hopefully this is helping you in the future when you're doing your own nails. So what I'm going to do now is look at them from the side. Let's see. So I'm going to look at them from the side right here, and I could see there's like a little dent there. This is pretty even. There's a little dent there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and I'm going to lay my base right here and just float it over. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to here, but I'm going to do it with my pink hair because I'm building a nude nail. So see how they're even now? They're all hitting even. So what I'm going to do is cure this for 30 seconds, and then I'll start building my nails. Well, I kind of forgot to base these two real quick, so I should have done it all at the same time, but it happens. So as long as you don't forget altogether, let me base this real quick. And I would have done it all at the same time. But as long as you don't forget altogether, you're safe. So let's go ahead and put it on all of them. So 30 seconds under the light. So now what I'm going to do is remove my forms. Okay, so I like to open up my sides, just makes it easier. I use my nails a lot to separate it, but if you don't use your nails and you just pinch here, that works as well. Okay, so let's get rid of these. So I'm going to grab my toenail clipper, and I'm just going to clean these up the same way I did my other hand. Again, don't make sure these are really sharp, because if you kind of knead at it like this, it'll break. If it breaks, you obviously repeat the process, right? So see the angle I'm at with my hand? So what I'm going to do here, bring it here. Do a little more here. Okay, so what I'm doing is just getting them straight. This helps when you do your own nails. I do this on my clients sometimes. You don't have to as much on the client unless you're beginning. It kind of gives you a guide. But I do recommend, if you're doing gel, to do this before, because it helps you keep your product kind of straight. See, is this a little long? I'm gonna, it's a tad bit, but not much. So I'm always comparing it to my other hand. That's a tad bit as well. That one's pretty good. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, these two are going to be my dimensions, so I'm going to fill my solid nails first. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to place my product in front of my brush and just kind of guide it. See how I move my right hand? Just kind of pillow it and guide it around the cuticle area. See how I'm moving my right hand? It helps me a lot to move it. Then what I'm going to do is just kind of blend it in. I didn't build it all the way down because I had enough product. All I'm doing is blending it so it's less product for me to file. Okay, I'm going to do my pointer. Again, put your product down, get it in front of your brush, and then just walk it around your cuticle area. Blend it in, come back here. Blend it all in. I need a tad bit more right here. All right, so I'm gonna get my orange wood stick real quick. Now, if you happen to get it too close to your cuticle, I'll show you this way because it is easier for me. All I'm gonna do is just make sure it doesn't flood my cuticle. And you know, sometimes you may have to do that because when you're doing your own nails, it tends to flow differently than when you're working on someone else. So what I'm going to do here is, let me kind of fill it in a little more here. And I'm gonna file these so it doesn't have to be totally perfect. Okay, everything's staying where I want it. So the pinky, I'm gonna do my pinky now. Now my pinky, I'm probably gonna have to come back in two. So my main goal is going to be to get it everywhere I need it, but I don't care about my apex yet. I could do that in my second coat. The most important thing is to get it everywhere it belongs. It's always easier to add from there. Again, see how I'm just like moving slowly? That's the key to doing your own nails. Moving a little slowly on your non-dominant hand. It's pretty tricky, but it's kind of decompressing and kind of like relaxing if you just embrace it. Let's see. And it's super rewarding when you're done with it too. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it under the light for 30 seconds. So what I'm gonna do is look at them from the side. These are built pretty good. These ones all have their apex in. My pinky just needs a little bit more from like here, just a little bit more, and fill it into here. So I'm gonna pick up my product, come in. Remember, the process isn't gonna be pretty at this point because all I'm doing is making sure I get it where I want it. So adding that extra product right there for strength, bring it through. Put a little bit more, and I might leave this finger a tad bit thicker than I normally would. I probably will, just because where it's cracked, nobody will really notice except me and you now, because I'm telling you. But I would suggest when it's cracked like that, you can leave it a hair thicker. And I'm not talking wider, just a little more strength at your apex because the way it was cracked. So now I'm gonna put it under the light for 30 seconds. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is my dimensions now, I'm gonna prep them. I'm gonna put a little pink on my background. I like to do this for two reasons. It makes it look flawless because I'm going to have a fade, but I also like it because it adds a little bit more of a barrier. When you saw me electric filing off my dimensional when I first started doing this, you notice how it didn't burn me and I was able to get all my glitter and everything off and file with ease, and everything my nails were not damaged underneath. So this prevents that, but I also like the look of it. It makes it look more flawless. Okay, so right here, I want to bring it out past my nail a little because I want to kind of camouflage that look. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're gonna have a little bit of stuff fading into it, but I kind of like how the background looks. So I'm gonna flash this about 15 seconds. So here's my Mylar, and I usually put it on a paper towel, but I'm going to do this with it. So it's kind of separating everything. The reason why I use a paper towel, it's easier for me to put back in here if I didn't use it, so you don't really waste anything. These towels, it sticks to a lot, but I'll be able to get it off to put on my nails. So okay, that's about enough. And the reason why I take out so much is I'm picky about my pieces I put in, because I kind of like it to flow. So let's get some Moody's. Okay, now this is Resolution and Diamond Dust. So what I'm going to do first is take my Resolution and kind of do a little fade with it. So I'm just using one of our brushes from our art kit. You could use whatever brush you want. I just like that it's tiny, so it's not going to overpower with my glitter. kind of touch it in spots down here. Okay, now I'm going to go into my diamond dust and it will give a different color glow with it. Okay, I kind of like the way that looks. So all I'm going to do is set it under the light for like about 15 seconds. What that's going to do is hold on to my glitter so I could go over with a coat. I'm going to take my base and my builder gel and my orange wood stick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my base and put it over my whole nail, and I'm not going to cure it. What I'm doing this for is for my Mylar to stick to it. So, and all my Moody's and everything I'm putting into it. So there's nothing neat about it, just get it on, right? Then what I'm going to do is touch my nail and then pick up some of my Mylar pieces. And now I'm just going to design my nail with the pieces I want to put in it. Put some big pieces, some small pieces. Pick up some Moody. Try to get some pink in there. Okay, I'm going to kind of hold it like this so I could see where I'm sitting it all. So you don't have to be this picky, but I like certain facets, so I kind of tend to try to pick pieces that kind of have a peak to it to come up, to kind of feather off, like kind of that little piece there. I think it looks cool. Let's put this there. Just kind of get it on. Okay, now that I kind of set up my background, I could just pile some on in spots. Okay, let me get some more of my Moody's. You know I like to layer. Ooh, that's like 3 Moody's on one. Hold on. There we go. See, I have more here. I could put it over here. I like the reflection of Moody. It's super pretty. Now again, this takes me longer. On a client, I would probably have it on already. Let me wipe this off so it's not so sticking to so many things. Now there's a few spots I want to add some. Let's get some of these small pieces. Look very pretty in there. And I'm not worried about them all laying down. It really doesn't matter because the more they're messy, the cooler the facets will be when the dimensions hit them. Put this big piece here. If it'll stay. Yay! Okay. So now that I have this all on, put like one more piece here. So if you notice, I'm looking at my hand every direction so that I could see where my facets are going to be. There's one on this side I want to get. Okay, that's good enough. Let's kind of spread this out a little. Okay, I say I'm not going to be picky, then I'm picky again. It's just part of it, right? Let me find a little sliver here. Ooh, there's one. Put it like right here. All right, now I'm going to cure this for like 30 seconds. Now I'm going to take my builder gel, my pink build, get it with my right hand. Hold on. Got to move kind of fast with this. So I'm just going to kind of move a little fast with this and try to get it on to cover everything I could cover. Sometimes I don't get it close to my cuticle right away because it takes me a little bit to encapsulate. I'll go back and fill it in. And that's for this hand. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna flash set it. Repeat the same process. Again, don't put it so close to your cuticle, because when you're working with your opposite hand, it sometimes may flow. You can't get to it fast enough. So I kind of don't get it all the way back yet. It's just a little trick I do. Then I don't have so much cleanup. Okay, so now right here, I'll kind of go back and float it back here. Okay, I'm gonna go under the light 30 seconds. So now I'm gonna look at it from the side. I could add in just a couple spots, not so many. I need to fill in here. Here as well, my whole back end. Very easy to do. Then at least it's not flooded, okay? So this helps a lot. So I'm gonna come in with my build, pick it up with my right hand, float it on this side, float it on the opposite side I need to fill in. Pick up a little bit more. And basically like kind of do a fill back here. Then that way it'll get in real tight. Okay, the other finger. Okay, I definitely need to encapsulate it more here. Again, it's not a pretty sight sometimes, but I know that it files really easy, and if it's in all the right spots, it'll be fine. Filling in the back end that I'm missing. Okay, so I'm kind of looking at it from the side, making sure everything's all covered. Okay, so that's fine. I'm gonna final cure this 1 minute. So now I'm gonna go into swipe, and I'm gonna swipe off all my sticky residue on these, and we'll get into filing right now. Now I tend to hand file a little more on this side than use my electric file. It's just easier for me to maneuver my sides. So I'm gonna file first. So I kind of use my right hand to move it as well. Same thing as my electric file. Okay, put my finger underneath. I just kind of get it in the shape because this is really hard for me to do with the electric file on myself. So make sure my side, see how I kind of push down with my other finger, gets it real straight. This other side, I'll push down from the other side. I think I'm gonna come in this way. Yep, that got it pretty straight. Telling you, I'm all over the place when I work on this side. Let me try to stay not so crazy so the camera could stay focused on what I'm doing. Okay, see how I get it pretty close to what I need it to? Now this one too, it's kind of wide in spots. So I've used my right hand to kind of file. Kind of file my free edge a little thinner. So I move, I could go a little slower. See, I'm kind of moving my fingers with more pressure on my free edge. What I'm trying to do is get it into the shape I need it before I start filing. So this is a brand new 150 file. I would never try to use one that I've used on myself before. It'd be too dull. So it's, I'm not gonna get it perfect. I'm just gonna kind of get it in the area I need it. Put a little more pressure on this side. So what I'm doing is bringing it in just a tad bit more. Have to be very careful with this because I could make it crooked. So I'm not gonna file too much on one more side. I just need to bring this over some and it down there. So you'll see what I do. Kind of looks like, if you don't know what your nail is supposed to be shaped like, it could be challenging because it looks like a bulky mess right now, especially because I'm working on my hard hand. You just kind of have to visualize what you're wanting your nail to look like. So let's get our side walls done. I put my fingernail kind of underneath it to brace it because it's so long. So I hand file way more on my right hand with my left hand when I'm doing my hard side. But I think a lot of people do that. I will electric file it though because I could get the bulk down really well. I just kind of need the shape in a tad bit, kind of where I'm wanting it. These ones are much easier because all I did was fill them in, kind of balance them back out. So these I won't have to do so much filing to. Again, I'm like moving my finger around my cuticle area. Okay, let's get this side. Now, my thumbs always get so rounded because I'm hitting it with my electric file or filing my client's nails, so they never stay. It's like these two fingers get the most beat up when I'm working on my clients. You see me wear a lot of nude color nails. The reason being, I love dark colors and I will wear them, but I'll probably wear them a week. The reason why I don't wear them as much is as soon as I work on a client, I tend to scratch my nails. And once it's scratched up, it kind of bugs me. So when I wear nude nails, they always look nice. You can't see the scratches and they look well done the whole time. So that's usually why you see me put a lot of nude on myself. But nude's pretty popular. A lot of my clients love nude nails. I don't know if it's because I wear them so much and it's a visual, but I tend to wear a lot of nude. Okay, so now I'm going to use my safety bit on myself, and I am going to go to 12,000 RPMs, and I'm going to basically file them the same way I was removing my product, same movement. So I'm going to come down with it. The whole time I'm looking down the barrel of my nail, okay? So what I'm doing is just getting everything tight. I'm going to go around the cuticle area. Okay, and all I'm doing is making contact with it. I'm not really trying to take a lot of bulk down. I'm just blending everything in. Same with this one. Let me turn on my fan. That'll help. I wasn't making much dust yet, but that's okay. Again, go around your cuticle area, making sure it's really blended in. Okay, now this one, let's go ahead and bring down all that bulk. Let's go side work here. Side work, I usually look at it here and come down and bring it down a little. When normally on a person, I look at it this way and do it, but it's a little harder to do that. I could do it a little. Really blend this in. I'll probably use my square cuticle bit again around there to get it really tight. Really makes a huge difference. So let's do the same to this side. Now this side, it's coming this direction a little more, so I'm going to kind of bring it over a little. It's a little thicker here. Okay. Kind of slowed my roll here because I didn't want to make it crooked. I was favoring a side. Let me see something real quick just to make sure. Let me turn this off real quick. So what I'm going to do is come in and file it a little more to see if it's going to stay straight. If it's not, then I'm going to add to the side, but I think it's going to be just fine. Yep. So sometimes I have to stop and check it on myself because it's harder for me to shape my nails. I don't do this on a person normally. Okay, that looks really good. So let's turn this back on. We're almost done, believe it or not. Okay, so now the pinky. Again, I'm going to leave this just a tad bit thicker just because I had a crack on it, and you're not even really going to notice it. So now I'm going to go into my medium arbor brand to like about 9,000 RPMs. I like to fine tune my nails with this, so I'm going to come in. What this is going to do kind of helps me a lot, especially when I do my own nails, is it's going to take off just enough and not too much because I was getting really close to where I wanted the nails to be. So it kind of helps me shape them. Okay, so I'm just looking down the barrel of it, getting closer to my cuticle area. That's helping a lot right there. Okay, let's go into this one. Okay, so here you can see I need to get a lot more tight in here. So this is going to help me not take off all my product, just blend it in really well. I'll go over my cuticle one more time with another bit. I do it a lot on myself because it helps me keep my cuticles really tight. As you can see, we can't maneuver the same on ourselves as we can working on other people, so it helps a lot. Okay. Okay, around my cuticle a little. Let me get a little better right there. The hardest nail to do on yourself. Okay, so I'm going to do one more bit. I'm going to go back into my cuticle bit. Love this bit. So what I'm going to do now, still on 9,000 RPMs, I'm going to come in here, clean up all my cuticle area. It's just really hard to get it tight here, so if you have all these bits, it makes it so much easier to have a cleaner look, cleaner cuticle. Okay, so I'm cleaning everything out. That looks pretty good. Here a little bit more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, move this to the side, and I'm just going to finish file them. And what I'm doing here is just perfecting my shape from here. So just little minor spots and areas. So this is just fine tuning my shape and everything. So I kind of look at it and make sure I like it. Let's go to this one. Making sure all of my sides are straight. I like to finish off around my cuticle area. Just creates really smooth look. Okay, so this is just fine tuning it. Checking on my sides. Right here, make sure nothing's hanging. Yep, those are good. Again, go around my cuticle area here. Make it a little more tighter. I want it a little more sharper on my free edge than what it is. Okay, it's a little thick there. Alrighty, let's go to this one. Make sure all my sides are straight. So I'm just doing what you do on a client too, just double checking your work for the final touches. Go around the cuticle area again. Alrighty. As you could see, I tend to file more on these two fingers because it's really hard to get it the perfect shape without your hand file for my right hand. They came out pretty good. I like them. Can't wait to finish them. It's the best part. When you're right here, you're like, ah, just about done. Okay, those all look pretty. It looks a little thick to me still, so I'm just going to bring it down a little. All right. Now I'm going to come in with my swipe and dust off my fingers. Clean them all off. Now let's finish them up with our top coat. I'm going to protein bond my hand. Now remember, wait till it dries. See how it's all dry now? Once it's dry, you could protein bond. If you do it with swipe on there, what happens is it cancels out your protein bond, because what does swipe do? It cleanses. So make sure that your swipe is all the way dry before you apply protein bond. Now the reason why I protein bond again, this aids in bonding my top coat, and it kind of gets it like a really glassy finish look as well. So what I'm going to do here is go into my stain resistant on my art ones, because that's my top coat of choice I'm using right now. You could use whatever top coat you want. You know the crazy thing, my hard hand usually comes out prettier than my other hand. This hand looks a little more bold, and I think it's because I can't play with it. So it's so funny. Usually my design does come out a lot nicer. So I'm just going to flash set this about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to go into my polish. Now I'm going to use no batteries included in our go time. It's kind of a really cool nude with a little bit of shimmer. So I move my right hand. Do you see how I move it? And all I do with this hand, and I could pull this hand a little if I want, but I'm actually pretty good kind of bringing it down, like a front to back movement. Let's do the pinky. Okay, let's make sure I get all my corners. Okay, let's do our thumb. Again, moving my right hand to assist me in polishing. Now this color is a little challenging because it does have a metallic and a frost mixed. If your strokes are not pretty even, you're gonna see like a mistake or that it's not going straight. And I just touched my pinky nail, but that's okay. That happens. So what I'm gonna do now is fully cure this for 1 full minute before I put my top coat on. The reason why I'm fully curing it for 1 minute is I'm using Go Time. And Go Time takes 60 seconds to cure all the way. I wouldn't really flash that Go Time because it needs that cure time. The reason being is Go Time has a built-in base and top, so it needs all that curing time. Also covers in 1 coat. So I'm not going to put another coat. It covered beautifully. I'm just going to go into stain resistant from there because I don't want any of my nails to stain. So now I'm going to go into stain resistant. I'm going to apply it on all these. Again, you don't have to put a top coat on Go Time if you don't want to, but Go Time can stain. So I'm going to put it on them because I don't want them to stain. I already put a top coat on these, but I might as well put 2 since I started. And let's come in here. Okay, once you have it all on, make sure there's nothing in your cuticles, and final cure it for 1 full minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do from here is take my swipe and I'm going to wipe off my sticky residue on all my nails. Kind of flip it over a little because sometimes some of the sticky remains on there. Okay, so from here I'm going to rose oil all of my nails. I even do underneath. It just kind of cleanses everything you take out when you're using swipe. Okay, rub this all in. And there you have it completed. I hope this helps you on your non-dominant hand. Good luck. Can't wait to see you next time.
Hey guys, we hope you love our nail videos. Comment below and let us know what you want to see next. To see more, go right over here. To subscribe to our channel, head right over here.